It's going to take him a while for me to say something here. One second. Okay, so I just wanted to share quickly here this video. Oh, and welcome to my channel. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Jose. Um, I do a bunch of stuff, namely what I call micro astrology. So I work with um, asteroids. People call me the asteroid guy. Well, my community does. Um, so I work with like 100 asteroids, like a lot. So, and I work with it in so much detail. I've never seen other soldiers do this. I'm not trying to show off or anything, but that's what I like doing that because it's very detailed. Um, but in this video, I wanted to share the the secrets of what the asteroids give. You know, most astrologers and even Stephen Forrest has said this in his book. Is this the what is it? The Book of Neptune? This one. He says that yeah, most astrologers don't really do that. He didn't really comment on it. He just added it. The point is, okay, so secrets of the asteroids, beautiful thing, because even though they're small, I think it was Philip Sedgwick who said this or somebody else that just because they're small does not mean that they don't make an impact on the readings. And one of the things I noticed about asteroids is that even though they give certain details about someone's life, for example, um, let's say, let's look at my chart. So what we're going to do is actually going to go into my chart. I'm going to show you what I mean. And this is probably going to be like, because I can confirm it. But if, trust, and I've seen this many, 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 many times. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. There we go. Actually, let me, one second here. Um, okay, here we go. Doo-doo. All right. So you can probably see here. So that's me, was I? Okay. So usual. So let's say I look into, um, that's a good one. That's a good part of my chart. For those who are new to astrology, bear with me here. You might not get it yet, but that's fine. Let's say I work with, okay, one of the first asteroids that I used to work with was Ceres, and I also worked with Vesta. Okay. I think that's a good one. What else is there? Ceres, Vesta. Okay. Um, I want to give you guys something more tangible. Um, okay, let's try several. Okay. So I worked with the asteroid Capricornus. I worked with um several things. Okay, I worked with Typhon. He was, according to the myth, the son of Gaia. So he's a titan, but he's huge. He's humongous, right? So he was the one who hurled mountains and fireballs at the gods, and because Gaia was having enough, and she's just like she's had it, and she sent his son. But he was eventually subdued, which is kind of funny how the myth makes it that way. But it's a lot about anger. What else can I add here? I can really think so. Let's just go with let's just say the asteroids kind of act a bit like the dwarf planets too. They're pretty much the same because they're smaller, right? But they do add a lot of detail. Uh, oh, okay, here we go. Apollo. And we're gonna go with also Achilles. What else do I have here? Hmm, Sorry, bear with me, guys. Mm, okay. Odin. Okay, let's add the ones on close to my north node. And then Osiris. And Iduna. It's a big one. And there's other ones too I want to add here. Astronomica, Astronautica, and also Didymos, which is a weird asteroid. I discovered this and I was like, oh, there's Didymos. What is Didymos? I was like, and uh it's I'm gonna add Pallas here as well. Let's just add a bunch of other ones too. Xion, sure. I'm gonna add Orcus. I'm gonna add Vertical Core. What else do I remember from here? Chiron is already automatically in the chart. That's a centaur. It's not a dwarf planet or a minor planet, which is an asteroid. There's another asteroid that I'd like to add here. Um, let's just we'll go with the flow. We'll go with okay. So let's see. Okay, so I'll show you my natal chart. And you see what I mean. Okay, so there's a lot. Okay, so you can probably see that there's a bunch of planets here. So you can see, right? For those who have already gone past this and you know what Pluto is, great. The reason I'm choosing these planets is because I feel like they're pretty strong in my chart. There are way more than this in my chart. The one I wanted to start with was Typhon, specifically because he's about wrath and rage. Um, uh, I remember when this is actually this is funny thing about this asteroid plus tied with Chiron. When I was 16, literally, I'm not lying. When I was 16, I was okay, so I was in band in high school and I got this oboe that I used to like play the oboe. I got this really beautiful oboe. It was like almost professional and just had all these extra keys in it. And it was like, oh my goodness, it wasn't like a regular student model. My dad would get me the best instruments. I love him for that. Um, and about 2 years later, I was going to go to a concert and then I left my oboe in the locker and somebody stole it. My locker buddy claimed that he didn't know, but I can tell from his eyes that he was lying. So there's just like kind of like weird, uncomfortable feeling inside me. I remember feeling like, okay, you're lying to my face kind of thing. I'm not to blame him or anything anymore, but I remember this feeling of like just rage inside. And I still had a lot of, sometimes there are some stuff that emotions that come through that's very heavy because I have Chiron, Typhon, um, trine my Venus. So a lot of it's tied to self-worth. Second house is self-worth. The 10th house is reputation. So a lot of it was reputation, but I wasn't going to the band. I wasn't going to the concert. We were preparing for it for like the whole year. And I lost it. So this is retrograde, right? Chiron, but Chiron in Taurus is the loss and the wounding of also things that ties to reputation. So, and there was a lot of anger seething in there. And like you could, the thing is, it's funny because it's like Chiron in Taurus, hyphen, how would that show rage? But it's retrograde. So it's like a hidden rage. Well, that kind of makes sense with Taurus. But if a person were to read this, typically they might not get that. So Typhon is also about like wanting to hurl things, wanting to, you know, um, just like a lot of that. I don't know what it is because I remember back in school, and I believe I'm going to show you how it works here. Let's see, Venus rules Taurus. So I remember when I was in elementary school, a lot of my a lot of my anger was hitting uh throwing throwing things or hitting people like my classmates because they were disturbing my peace. I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to I wanted to just have fun. I wanted to experience things. So sometimes they would bug me, and I don't know why they were bugging me. This is Venus. So their relationship with me did not make sense. There was a lot of issues with having fun. You see that Venus square Neptune. But how this is tied to Chiron is, and also Typhon, is a Typhon showing me the hurling things. Yes, I used to hurl things back when I was in elementary school. And you're probably wondering, where is elementary school? Elementary school is in the third house. If you look at elementary school, like what it is, yeah, it's in the third house. But I'm like, how is that tied to that? Well, it's still reputation, isn't it? Right? And if you, I didn't show it to you, but I have Hecate conjunct Venus with also Orpheus. So there's a lot of emotions tied to perfection. I wanted to perfect things. I remember when I was in elementary school, grade seven, I would be people. There was these people who would just distract me. I don't know why they were doing that. They were just awkward about it. It's like, why can't you just be fucking real? They would distract me. They would bug me or something like, why are you doing that? And I'm just like, I wanted to do my art. I wanted to, and to me, that was like an expression of my what I wanted to fulfill. I wanted to be perfect. That's a Virgo placement right here. Tied that to the Hecate, which is that magic that I wanted to try. I wanted to do music as well. Orpheus is also kind of tied to art as well. So any kind of art form, mainly music, but it is tied to that. I wanted to always be perfect. So you see how it's all tied now to it? A hidden anger that eventually kind of manifested itself later. There is another aspect here in line, these black dotted lines here. I don't know how to read that yet, but I'm pretty sure it's tied to that. Okay, so um, I'm looking at this side right here. I should be looking at the camera. Sorry, guys. Um, that's an example. Okay. I've been told that I have a lot of skills, but it's kind of a weakness of mine. Um, not knowing how to express this. He's known for having a lot of skills. Okay, he's like multi-talented. So that's a family heritage thing. Um, Specifically when it comes to what is it, psycho something. Not psychotic, but like with the metaphysical. There you go. That is Scorpio. But with also other things too. It is tied to the cusp of the fifth house. So that means a lot of things that are fun, things I enjoy, things that are this also ties to skills, sports, entertainment. So you see how it's tied together. But Achilles is here too. So I have this thing that when I'm not expressing myself, I'm not grounded in my emotions or grounded in my power, which is a verb, it's a Scorpio thing. And the Mercury and Mercury Uranus here is this about communication and nervous system. But when I have the Achilles there, showing that there's a weakness behind it. Where are we going to get weakness in the regular planets? To be honest with you, I don't see it. It could be through something that is probably intuited. I didn't see that until I got this Achilles here. I do have feet issues with the feet. Okay. So it's not very stable. Like sometimes I'm not grounded. So that's one of the things I think this is why some many readings I can still get the whole like you should people do readings for me and they say like I should ground myself more. Like black colors, black. I'm wearing a lot of black today. So that's an example of how that Achilles thing, Achilles' story was tied to his Achilles, right? Achilles heel. So there's something about my heels that is not stable. So especially when it comes to Achilles, 26 degrees Apollo there, opposite of literally these four, at least these four planets opposite of Typhon and Chiron. So when I'm more stable now than was before, but I remember when I was like, I always had to keep moving and I wasn't really grounded. Chiron is teaching me here to find myself grounded. Okay. Um, but Typhon is that anger that is unexpressed. So I've learned how to express it, but not in a rageful, wrathful way, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, I added Eris here because it's tied to my philosophy. It's tied to, I doubt my philosophy being able to have justice for what my beliefs are, particularly with education. I remember having this problem itself when I was in university. I didn't have a lot of freedom and I felt kind of very closed in. So now I realized too, this Eris thing, this energy of Eris is inclusion as well. She's absolute inclusion, absolute inclusion. I did not feel connected to universities. Even today, there are times where I feel like disconnected from foreigners. So these, you see the magic here, see the secret here. So it's coming through. The path that I'm in, this is where it gets a little dark. Um, I'm in astrology, right? I didn't mention this here, but I have Sun conjunct both Urania and Imhotep. Urania and Imhotep. I'm going to show you actually. I showed you 17 additional objects. I'm going to add here, show you where it is. And Imhotep. Both are tied to astrology. But Imhotep is more about the priestiness, priesty sort of like the mystic. That ties in exactly what I'm doing. So I'll show it. Okay, so if we zoom down here, you see that 21 degrees Pluto, 24 degrees Imhotep. It's conjunct. Urania is down there. If you could see it, Ura, you see that? That's Urania. Conjunct the sun. Actually, it's not conjunct the sun. It's conjunct the sun through Shapley attractor. That's another time, another thing. But it is the thing, this displacement, the sun, Pluto, Imhotep, Urania, and a bunch of other, a bunch of other asteroids. Like Tyr, the god Tyr is there, Artemis is there, Child is there. It is opposite of the wisdom that you get from Pallas Athena. She's about wisdom, but it's retrograde, not being able to see and have doubts with the connection you have with your career, potential, mission, okay, as Stephen Forrest calls it. It's the mission. I never really had this sort of thing with career. I had issues with career because I always wanted to do my own thing. It's in Aries, right? So people expect me to they assess me and they expect me to be this kind of like leader, go-getter, initiative and all that stuff. But what they don't see behind the curtains is that I always wanted to be equal. But it is tied to this Pluto, Imhotep, Urania, and a bunch of other asteroids archetype, combined archetype thing. So the Urania Imhotep shows that I really enjoy astrology, particularly also mysticism as well. So that includes the evidential mediumship, divination, all those things. It's beautiful stuff, right? So, but because it's tied to the sun, and I have North Node in Leo, the sun rules Leo. For those again who are new, I'm sorry, this is a lot right now, but that's how it is. So, and one of the things I wanted to show here quickly is why I added Astronautica here is because that is to the stars. I am in this path that I am right now, and I'm on the right path, right? It actually shows because I'm seeing a lot of repeating numbers too. But also beyond this is not just the stars like astrology itself, but also things beyond this planet, beyond this physical form. That's what it also means. And also there's Vesta, which is standing your ground. This is where it gets a little interesting, guys. This is the first house, so it's a lot to do with the body. Vesta represents standing. Literally Vesta is stando. It's I looked at the mythology and there's an Italian or Latin saying stando means like I stand. Or to be standing or something like that. But it has to do with standing your ground, is being certain and being formless, right? That's a lot to do with it's also Kundalini energy. It means it's basically life, being connected to that. The fact that Vesta is standing literally on a physical level, you see that standing? This also explains because I have Vesta opposite Chiron just on its own. That's that actual physical explanation where I'm not standing my ground. I have a hard time standing my ground, or rather, it's a little better now. Um, so that's that. But you get the point. These little details that you might, is like, if I didn't have Vesta there, how would I know standing? Is it really through Chiron retrograde in Taurus? Possibly. If you go into the details of Taurus, like the bull, I'm insecure about security, groundedness. Yeah, that can be seen there too. What if we didn't have Chiron? How would I have seen that? So the point is, this is the beauty of the asteroids. There's other stuff too, like Iduna here is in the body as well. I've been known to have beautiful skin. Like, I mean, it's still there. Like there's some scratches here. But the point is, especially when I was younger, I always was had this sick, elegant skin or something like that. Particularly because it's in Leo, I say that people it's the hair, the head, or what is it then? Technically, that's what it is. But again, looking at Iduna and all these asteroids here, let's see, skip focus. All these Iduna, Didymos, the North Node, Osiris, Odin, Astronautica, Vesta, square. Remember, squares. For those who don't know, square is a challenging aspect. There's always trouble with that. When I say trouble, I don't mean like in a negative way. It is square Chiron with Typhoon. So you can tell right away that there is issues with the head. This is Leo. Leo rules the head. That shows the imbalance that I have, an imbalance literally with the ears, and I have tinnitus. I have many ears disease. I was diagnosed with that. That explains the imbalance. Had I known this years ago before I took it seriously to go swimming, like like to train every day and a lot of flip turns. For those who are swimmers, you know what flip turns are. Like I did a lot of those. I would train a lot. I was in a swim team. I competed. Um, I was very hard on myself. So this pushed the limits. Literally, like I accomplished a lot, but I noticed that it wasn't really necessary what I could have got into more. So I didn't listen, and the body woke me up. So you see how it's all connected here. Not to say that we need to predict someone's life when it comes to reading or looking at the astrology to do that, but the asteroids do reveal all that stuff as well. The asteroids, the centaurs, and dwarf planets, or asteroids is also called minor planets. There's other names for the dwarf planets. Some of them are Kuliwanos. A lot of them are categorized under TNOs, trans-Neptunian objects. Some are, there's another called something object. I forgot what it was called, astronomically speaking. So you see how it is. So anyways, that's what it is. I'm not going to go further into the other stuff. Like there is series here where I dream. It's in the 12th house is about dreams. I do have dreams because our series also it's tied to portals. But the 12th house is also tied to when I was when the child is in the womb. So it's in vitro stuff. Because I have series uh, sorry, square Pluto and the Sun. Um, Artemis is also here. There's something about that. I forgot what it was, but it's tied to the fourth house. So this 12th house, fourth house, there's a square aspect that through the planets shows that my mother was sick. She had toxicity or sickness when she had me. So I was born with a cleft lip palate. Um, where's the split coming in here? I have Tyr. I think it was Tyr. Oh, okay, Tyr. His hand was cut off. There was a cut. That makes sense. Okay. There you go. See, I love these discoveries. So you see how all these things are starting to make sense? I posted in a different video earlier about I also have Balder in the what do you call that? In the fourth house. I'm going to show you what I was read to. And we're going to end this quickly from here. I'm actually going to take out these planets right here. Well, they're right here. I'm just going to take off the other planets. And I'm going to show you literally, this is called um, Mississippi. Did I misspell that? Oh, I thought it was Mississippi. It's Mississauga. Either way, it's tied to my south node. Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah. I thought it was Mississippi. The reading, I thought it was Mississippi. Just happens. Okay, either way, there's a square to my south node. Anyways, I don't know how I got Mississippi. I mean, because of the Missy. I don't know what it was. I'll have to double check. I have to tell my guy about this one. But you see how Balder here is 16 degrees, close conjunct Mercury, Uranus. The point is, there's something about the head. Mercury rules the head as well. Balder rules like it's about shooting because he was shot with an arrow that was poison. So he did read that I was shot, something in my head, and which is actually tied to the Chiron here, bringing into the past life, from past life to now. Fourth house also represents the past, by the way. So these are the magical stuff happen. So I'm going to stop sharing that right now. So I just wanted to share that there's beauty in asteroids. They give you details that I would say that quickly are revealed with the charts if you look carefully into the mythology, legend, story, then you'll notice. So give it a try. You never know what you're gonna get, like a box of chocolates, right? I don't want to quote the movie, but and I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching, as always. And that's what my coach says. Thank you for watching. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.